It's that time of year. The temperatures are warming up. The grass is growing again. Trees are budding. Bees are buzzing. And now that it's spring, it's time to get to work in the garden and start growing food again. And during the fall and winter, I did something with my chickens that will help me to grow even more food this year. What was it? Well, I brought a number of my chicken tractors into the garden and ran them through my garden spaces during those colder months. And while they were in those spaces, they were eating up plant residue, weeds, seeds, bugs, and all kinds of other things that I just can't see. And in those areas of the garden that I wanted to give a little bit more TLC to, well, instead of moving the chicken tractors daily like we generally do throughout the year, well, I would leave those chicken tractors in those garden spaces for a couple of days. And to help keep the chickens healthy while they were in this same spot, I would add leaves, mulch, or pine shavings in those areas inside the tractor. And not only did this help keep the birds healthy, it also added extra manure, extra organic matter to these garden spaces to help our plants thrive in the warmer months. And as most gardeners know, chicken manure is an excellent fertilizer for your garden. But you don't want to use it fresh on your veggies because, well, one, it could burn up your plants if the manure is fresh, and two, there's some potential health concerns that come along with using fresh manure on your garden vegetables. And it is generally recommended that with your root crops and leafy greens that you have at least 120 days between when that manure is fresh versus when you start those plants in that garden space. And with things like your summer crops, your squash, your tomatoes and things like that, it's recommended that you have at least 90 days for those crops. So with that in mind, a couple of weeks ago, I started transitioning my chicken tractors out of the garden. And in a couple of my tractors, I have some young birds that I got in the fall as chicks from Murray McMurray Hatchery that are now at the point where they are starting to lay eggs. Look at what we have here. Our very first egg from this batch of fall chicks that are now, right now, getting ready to start laying eggs because we got the first one here. Exciting. Way to go, ladies. A lot of people think about raising chicks at this time of year, and if you're raising egg layers, well, you got a number of months before they start laying eggs, and then the cold months, shorter days come, and then they really don't have a full year of laying eggs. But if you get your chicks in the fall, you can let them grow up, and once they start laying eggs during this time of year, they're able to put in a full egg laying cycle year for you, so you can get a lot out of them out of the first year. Just an option, but I also raise chicks in the spring too, so whatever floats your boat, whatever you need to do. And over the upcoming days, I will gradually transition these egg layers here into a chickshaw, like one of these, and move them out into the pasture. But in the garden beds that I took the chickens out of in late November and early December, well, those beds are ready for root crops and leafy greens now. And some of the other beds that I took the chickens out of in January and February, well, I tarped those beds and they will be ready for summer crops like corn, okra, and squash here really soon. But running chicken tractors through my garden spaces isn't the only way that I use chickens to grow more food. I also bring chickens into my high tunnels where I grow tomatoes and cucumbers. And not too long ago, I took those chickens out of there, but it was a little bit of a process to move these chickens out of that space. My chickens have been putting in the work here in my high tunnel. Scratching around, eating all kind of things that I don't see, but also at the same time adding their manure, which will help with the fertility of the things that I plan to grow here really soon. But before I can grow anything in here, I gotta get them out of here and let this area rest so it will be ready for those plants. In addition to their manure, they've also added some feathers in there as well. And all those things will just add to the health of the soil here. Yes, it's time for them to come out of here, but I don't have any pasture area ready for them yet because it's still a little too early. So I'm just gonna have to just move them out into a temporary transition area while we wait for our pasture areas to be ready for our chickens. So I'm actually gonna move them just right outside here in this old flower bed. Right over here is where last year I was growing zinnias, amaranth, and just a number of things that was looking all beautiful over here. No, it's not. So looking forward to growing some of those again over here. First, the chickens will be here. That. Little dip there. Connect this here for now. Open it up. Come on. Come on. Come on over. This is one of those times that the grass is greener. Maybe. There is some green grass here, but things really hadn't grown there yet. But they'll still scratch around and find some things to eat in here and do what they do out the back end. Let's first move their feed over here. Can you grab the lid? Grab the feeder. Alright, let's stick that on. Time to move. Meep, 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 meep. Got a little bump coming up, maybe a big bump.
I can pick this up.
Yeah?
Wanna see?
Good job. Look at those muscles. All right. You all right? Watch yourself. You're in a bad spot. Come out of there. Come out of there. Thanks for listening.
I don't like them small.
Oh, you were going to be tripped on the back. Woo! Look at these birds doing their job. Getting in here, moving around, starting to scratch up. There we go. Yep, right over there. You can see that happening right there. Expressing the chickenness. All right, guys, we got to herd the last remaining chickens and the turkey in here over to the rest of them. Come on, go on over there. Yep, herd them on over, guys. Hands out, hands out. Come right here. And in addition to the chickens fertilizing my high tunnel with their manure and they're leaving their feathers behind, well, it's also easier to tend to them, to watch them, and take care of them during the winter months. And one of the things that I noticed with our chickens this past winter is that some of them were dealing with scaly legs from the mite. So what did I do to take care of that? Well, I gave them some diatomaceous earth. Diatomaceous earth, also called DE, is beneficial for humans, plants, and animals. It can be used internally as a dewormer and to fight parasites, but it can also be used externally to fight lice, mites, fleas, and ticks. And for using diatomaceous earth to make a chicken dust bath, simply put DE in a container, add fine dirt or sand, and you want to go with a 2-to-1 ratio. And you can also add wood ash or dry herbs. And then mix it all together and take it to your chickens. Well, even though my chickens and the one turkey did a great job working in the high tunnel during these colder months, well, there was still a little bit more work that I needed to do. And in this area, as well as a number of other garden spaces around my farm, I mulched those spaces with aged wood chips. Now, myself, just like I'm sure some of you, don't have a big fancy tractor with a front end loader on it to move mulch around. So a lot of times we have to do some of this stuff by hand. And I've done a lot of this on my own by hand. But this time I was thankful to have a team helping me shovel the mulch into the high tunnel. The reason why I garden with mulch in my high tunnels and other garden areas is because mulch conserves water in the soil, keeping plants healthy and hydrated, and also promotes activity from microorganisms in the soil. It also protects the soil from erosion, it moderates temperature, and it also suppresses the weeds. And I don't know if it's because I used to be a personal trainer or what, but I really enjoy seeing people working hard. I know that may sound crazy. Come on, man. You got it. Come on, whippersnapper. You can do it. Good job. And it brings an added sense of joy and satisfaction when I see my children and others learning new skills and making improvements. It just feels good. There we go, Sailor. She's in the groove right there, buddy.
But I'm almost finished.
She's rocking like a machine. Are you real? Are you partly metal, partly real?
I'm very tired.
There we go. Let's see how fast Anna can do it over here. Let's see Anna's technique here. There we go, Anna. She's going beast mode on us.
And I'm going wildcat on you.
You're going wildcat?
You know, if you brought it a little closer to the pile, it'd be easier.
Look at Sailor with the suggestions there. Yep. There we go.
Look at you, Daddy, just standing there.
Yep. I'm just doing what you guys normally do. Just watch. Just kidding. You guys work hard. Even though it takes time and patience to teach others how to do things, it's worth it. Put the cart facing where you're going. Yep. It's a lot heavier to move them when they're full. Alright, watch out. Excuse me. There we go. That way we can go right out that way, out into our pot. Come on. Don't let the old man with the baby on his back go faster than you. Come on. Come on.
Who you calling old, Mr. Pointy?
Look at that. One. You got one, I got two by the time you got one. There you go. There you go. Matching the speed. There we go. Come on. You got it. And because we worked together, we got this job done so much faster than if I would have done it all by myself. It probably would have taken me all day long and I would have been worn out to do it by myself. And I am so looking forward to the bigger, juicier, and tastier produce that will be growing in the high tunnel as well as the rest of the garden areas because of all the work that the chickens put into it over the colder months. Super exciting. And in addition to that, also over the next few days, we'll be moving the chickens out into the pasture. Last year was the first year that I raised chickens in this pasture area, and we did rotational grazing with them. And it's so neat to see the difference between the areas where we were rotationally raising the chickens versus the areas of the pasture that we did not raise chickens in last year. They even have more grass growing in this area because of the chickens. So the chickens are actually helping to produce more grass that will help produce more eggs as well as more meat. So the chickens are just helping us to produce food all around. Super cool. You know, I really enjoy living the homesteading and homegrown life, and I really enjoy sharing and teaching these things with others. And I want to help more of you. So right now I'm in the process of building an online community where I can help people on a deeper level. And in this area you can have access to interactive Q&As and webinars, as well as access to a library that is full of content that is uncensored and that is centered on living a homegrown lifestyle, in which topics such as living a healthful life, such as growing your own meat, gardening, herbs, and even things for the kids. But this area isn't open yet, but you can be the first to know about it by getting on the wait list, because once it is open, it will only be open for a limited time. So make sure you check it out in the link below. See you next time.